some of our previous discussions talking about preferred routes and for whether we're calling it non-motorized or active transportation, preferred routes, specifically east-west corridors that get people to the known existing public transportation. And I would love to have some kind of language in here that reflects, you know, a little bit more robust commitment to this than enhance access and connectivity of, where we maybe commit to, you know, selecting preferred routes to that provide access to public transportation, and especially in our east-west corridors where we know we have, it's a little tricky. So, I mean, I don't know if even goal 2 and goal 3 could be combined and we make it just a little bit more robust. I would like to see that language where we can, you know, make it sound a little less aspirational, a little more concrete, where we're saying we'll seek for preferred routes, et cetera, east-west.
Just to comment, the goals are actually intended to be aspirational, and it's the next level of strategies where we would talk about the specifics. So unless you feel different, what I'm doing is taking a note here that we want to make sure and incorporate the active transportation plan and the importance of the east-west corridors as we get to that next level.
You mean incorporating the details into the general plan?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
If that's acceptable to everybody. These are intended to be a little more aspirational.
In other sections of the general plan that will be published with this.
Yes.
I'm comfortable with that.
I think as long as we are paying a lot, you know, attention to and being mindful of that, then I'm okay with that. It does seem a little bit, well, like we could still combine them, but I'm okay with that, as long as it's part of the final document.
Okay. All right, any other comments on a connected community? Okay.
Moving on to an active community. Goal 1, maintain and enhance existing city parks and amenities for all users. Goal 2, expand and connect mountain trail networks and connections with the urban trail network. And Goal 3, protect Bountiful's natural sensitive lands and view sheds.
I love that we're aspiring to have a urban trail network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And some of those details of that urban trail, I think, are in the master plan now that we have on the trails.
That's adopted.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Active transportation.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comments or suggestions on that, the active community? Okay.
Next section, an efficient and resilient community. Goal 1, maximize the resiliency and fiscal sustainability of community services and utilities. Goal 2, maintain existing infrastructure and carefully consider benefits versus costs when adding new services. Goal 3, serve as a leader in reliability by prioritizing efficient design of public facilities, utilities, and infrastructure. And Goal 4, protect the future of Bountiful through the wise stewardship of natural resources.
I love this one. It's just has to be our bread and butter, right? Like our utilities, our infrastructure. It's what cities can do, and nobody else can do that. No residents can do that for themselves. So, any ideas for any additions or changes?
Just like it is.
Okay.
All right, Mayor, and the final section, a friendly community. Goal 1, invest in public spaces such as Main Street and city parks where the community can gather. Goal 2, enhance community identity by improving the appeal of key urban spaces. And Goal 3, support events that bolster community identity and build social capital.
I like all of those.
I would make just one small suggestion to goal number 3. Support events that bolster community identity. I would add belonging and building social capital.
So you do community, comma, belonging, and, comma, and,
Oh, community identity, comma.
Comma, and build social capital.
So you would like to add the word belonging
I would.
after community identity, comma. What does everyone think about that?
What, I'm just curious. I love the idea of belonging, without question. I'm just wondering what that would mean on a city level for that, I guess.
Well, I guess I'm a little bit thinking about the police department efforts, where they have made real efforts to reach out and make connections with different communities within our city. And they've been really intentional about that. And so I think it adds an element of like, Bountiful is a place where everybody who lives here belongs. And again, I just think it's a different subcategory.
Any other thoughts on belonging? Everybody okay with that?
so, since these are our aspirational goals, and I agree, belonging is important to making people feel like they're part of a community. I'm just curious then, if we were to brainstorm on what those then granular action items are going to be that support this goal, what do you envision those granular things are that then underpin belonging?
Well, as Gary mentioned, I'm not sure right now is when we're like dialing down to the granular level, but one thing that I can think of specifically would be like Summerfest at Bountiful Davis Arts Center, how we have continued support and are the primary funders of that incredible event that I think really does foster that sense of belonging, allowing for kind of celebration of so many different communities, sub-communities within our larger community. So I guess that's just something off the top of my head I would think of.
That makes sense. Any other thoughts or questions about that?
I was gonna say, I had it as an implied as part of our identity. I didn't, but calling it out seemed like our identity as a community should be that we're creating an atmosphere of belonging and inclusion. But I don't know if it needed to be called out, but I'm fine with it
The
either
first,
way.
the first one, the first goal is a welcoming community. And so you're right, there are other places where it's implied or where we address it.
But we want that to become our identity. That's who we want to be as a community always. And I think that just has to be something in the planning of these events that we always think that way.
Yeah, and the first goal is more, housing focused. So I think that since this last one is talking about friendliness, I think it kind of helps, kind of brings in that other element. So I'm fine with belonging. But yeah, Any other thoughts or concerns?
Happy to have it there. Now, when we get to the, where the rubber meets the road, then I might have some other ideas. Because I don't know how it'll develop. But, great.
Okay, everybody okay with that? Okay, excellent. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
So that concludes that discussion. Anything else that you have?
That's all we had planned, unless Gary had anything else.
Okay, perfect. So we just have a few minutes now until our regular meeting, so we can just take a little break. Thanks, everyone.